That was it, and that was at the bottom of the Victoria Falls that we put in, and that river is the great granddaddy of all rivers. Most rivers, if you have a 5 and a 6, you're on the glory road, you know. You can't hardly get any better. These were 6s and 7 on this, and there was a couple of them that we had to portage around. They ran through. The guides ran through on the boats, but they wouldn't let us go with because they said it was absolutely too dangerous. It was so fast, it was like a flume there, and your head would hit the side of the wall if you fell, you know. So, a couple of those number 8s. So, we had to portage a lot because of a lot of waterfalls, you know. And we went through water that had 18 feet high waves. I'm not kidding you. It was absolutely unbelievable. And when we left to go home, we were at the airport at the hamburger stand. And the cook said he couldn't believe an old lady like me could run the Zambezi. I was 60 at that time. They had said no one could go on the trip who was over 50 years of age. But I knew I could do it. So I lied on the forms. I didn't tell them. And the cook gave us free hamburgers. Ralph and I were the 250th and the 251st person to run the Zambezi. This was in 1984, and at that time, I was the oldest person to run the Zambezi. And if nobody lies about their age, I'm still the oldest person to run the Zambezi because you can't do it if you're over 50 or 55, one of the two. Another hobby we have is stained glass. Ralphie took a class at Armstrong College in Savannah, and I helped him for 7 years. I did designing and drawing and choosing the colors, and I thought, I can do that, and I did, and I've got some nice pieces, even now in the house here. Ralph also did beveled glass, but that was not for me. That I didn't like that. I liked the colors. Glass is a rewarding hobby, something of beauty, and something that you can work at for 8 hours or let it lie for 8 months and come back and continue on working. Ralph used to teach stained glass. And then when we moved to Arkansas, we had people ask for lessons, but he hasn't started any as yet. Over in Savannah, the ladies had big houses with giant bathrooms with all the spa equipment in there, you know. And over their spas, they wanted a big window, maybe huge irises poking up here. You know, it was always massive, you know. It was like the windows were usually about 6 foot long and 4 foot high, something like that, you know. Something, they wanted that, not like their neighbor is going to look in, but they just felt more comfortable. So, anyway, we have cruised on a small boat. We only cruised on one boat to Bermuda, and I said that's enough of that. I'm not the evening gown type of person. It was too much dressing up. It was ridiculous. But we cruise on a small boat. There's like 30 couples and there's 15 crew. So you got 60 people and 15 crew in the Caribbean. And it's all young folks on the crew except for the captain and the mate. All we do is walk the beaches, we snorkel, we swim, we visit the locals, we visit all the tiny islands. If it's a big city, we don't go there. Some of the islands are deserted and we walk around the islands. We have our 10th cruise booked, and then the next one is free. Well, I got the next one. After Ralph died, I got the free cruise, and I went down. I chose to go from Warren, Rhode Island, down the Intercoastal Waterway, all along the side down to West Palms, Florida. And it was a wonderful trip. Sad, though, because Ralphie wasn't there. But I knew the captain and the mate, and I knew 3 of the kids in the crew. So it was kind of like old home week, you know. And then, of course, customers, you know, we I met two that I had been on other trips before, so it was fun.